Let me fucking scoot back a little so I don't punch the microphone.
Hey, come listen to our podcast, yeah. Please listen, it's a hitch. If you don't listen to our podcast, yeah, then you are a bitch.
Maybe that one.
So, Cody, why are we not covering It Chapter Uno for our Spanish-speaking community out there?
So, as I lay awake late last night, early in the twinkling hours of the morning.
2 in the morning. Hold on. I'm going to just make sure this text message. Because I woke up like 30 minutes later, I had to piss, and the first things on my phone is Cody goes, "Hey guys, let's not do this." And I go, okay. And so it was, let's see here. You guys haven't been, okay. Yeah, so this was at 2:52 a.m. All right, Cody will not text me back after like 8:30 at night. And it's like, I was at 2:52, I look over. It's like 3:20 when I wake up. I'm like, man, I really got to piss. I don't want to get up. I got to piss. I look over at my phone to see the time, and he goes, if you guys haven't watched the movie yet, I like to change it to 89 Batman movie. Batman is also on Max. I go, cool with me. I mean, I hadn't finished it anyway. It was funny because, so we're on delayed recording to break kayfabe a little bit for you guys. Last week, we had to work on, no, it didn't have to work on Saturday. I was going to have to delay the recording till Sunday because I was going to Alabama with my dad to go visit my sister. So Friday night, so I was going to have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and that. So I'm watching it. I'm like, oh Lord, this movie's not taking forever. Then about 8:15, Owen texts, hey guys, if we can't do it Sunday, can we do it the week after? I'm like, motherfucker could have texted us like 30 minutes ago. I could have been in bed. And and I go, I'm cool with it, Cody. It takes like 10 fucking minutes for him to see the text message. And I'm like, I'm with Cody when I hang out with him. He always has his phone on him, and I'm like, you little bitch, pick up the phone. And
so here's the reason. So lately, it's like the last several weeks at least, my sleep schedule has basically been fall asleep on the couch at like 8:30 or 9 o'clock, wake up in the middle of the night sometime between midnight and 2 o'clock in the morning, take Zero out, and then go lay down in bed and basically lay awake for 45 minutes before finally falling asleep and then getting up at 5:30 in the morning and, rinse and repeat, which is why, like, if y'all text me back at like 9:30 or 10, I'm probably passed out on the couch.
I just thought it was funny. I'm like, you bitch. No, I didn't say that. I'm like, I'm over here at this point. The movie's paused, staring at my phone, and I'm like, halfway off the couch, like, am I about to go to bed or not? Come on, big dude.
Shit,
and,
part two.
Yeah, we went to Alabama. I actually stopped in the Buc-ee's for the first time. They had amazing sausage biscuits, and that place is fucking huge. But yeah, so now we're so instead of doing it, which I ain't gonna lie to you, that movie kind of freaks me out. Still, I've only watched it like a handful of times, and it's a very effective scary movie.
I'll give you my two reasons for not wanting to do it right now. So one, I haven't gotten far enough in the book to the point that I want to be, so that I can make enough like references and stuff and comparisons with the film, and also, as I lay awake at night thinking about Pennywise looking, specifically two scenes in that movie, I sit here, I lay in the dark and think about, and it's the Georgie scene where he's like looking out of the sewage drain, and the scene where Bill goes down into the basement and he sees Pennywise like when it's flooded in the basement.
Yes.
And those two, for whatever reason, those two scenes like kind of stick in my brain in the middle of the night when I'm just laying in bed.
That scene in the basement, holy shit.
Yeah, I'm like maybe I'm not in the right headspace to be watching this right now. So that's another reason why I wanted to change it. But primarily, it was the book. I want to be able to make enough comparisons and stuff between the book and the film.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I'm also like,
I appreciate you not letting me be the only pussy not wanting to watch the movie. So,
I'm kind of like easing into like a comic book mode right now. Anyway, we've got Superman coming out in a few weeks.
Superman.
So I've been watching those. Superman, that watch me, ooh, and Fantastic Four, which I probably won't go to the theater to see that, but still, like it's very comic book mode for me right now. So that's why I thought, well, you know what? Let's do Batman. And for now, I'm going to say I at least want to do the original or that quadrilogy. You know, Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin.
Who killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
The Ice Age. But yeah,
Are we gonna do the Joel Schumacher ones?
Those
that-
are the two.
Those
that's forever.
count as. I thought they were like a separate thing.
No, so technically they're still part of the same continuity as the Burton movies.
Now, since then, they had a comic book, Batman '89, and it continues after the first two movies. And it kind of
which I actually have that. I have that on the way right now.
Okay, hell yeah.
Which is super interesting. And we'll probably talk about it more when we do Batman Forever, because it kind of ties into how that movie ended up being made. But essentially, the Batman '89 comic was made what? It was like 2018, I think, when that comic book came out. And essentially what they did is they took the original like plot ideas that Burton had for a third film and made it into a comic book. So you have Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent as becoming Two-Face, and there's another one coming out later this year that it's like a sequel to that. It's called Batman '89 Echoes, and we'll talk about that probably more when we do Batman and Robin. But Batman '89 Echoes takes story elements that Joel Schumacher was going to do for his third Batman movie, which would have been the fifth in this continuity, that would have introduced Scarecrow and Harley Quinn. But it never came to be. So, but again, we'll talk about that more.
I gotta say this. I feel bad for Billy D that he got recasted in the third movie. You know, and I would say if it was anyone else but Tommy Lee Jones, like, you should have gave Billy D. Williams a chance. But Tommy Lee Jones is a good fucking actor, like really good. So yeah, I'm excited to rewatch that one just because that's the one I remember the most, and that's the one that most looks like the Batman the Animated Series. Because we'll get into this, but okay, I'm not a huge fan of this movie. Go ahead and spoil it.
I'm going to say I actually agree with that. I am also not a huge fan of this movie, and quite honestly, I think while something like Batman and Robin isn't as good of a film as Batman '89, I actually prefer watching Batman Forever and Batman and Robin over this.
Oh, that's interesting. I can't wait to get into that discussion.
Yeah. I like to watch it because it makes me horny.
But I'll say this: like, this movie, I'm forever indebted to, because after the success of this movie, they commissioned a Batman animated series to be made, and that's what we got: the Batman, the '92 to '95 Batman series that continued on into the Justice League series and stuff like that. That was all based off the success of this movie. And a lot of elements that I guess they took from these two movies. Because what's funny is, like, Batman Returns comes out in '92, and that come out earlier '92. September '92 is when the Batman animated series first dropped. They took influence from the 40s comics, the 40s Superman animated show, and the '89 Batman movie. And they actually took the design of Penguin from Batman Returns. Like, they had originally designed Penguin off his appearance from the '60s show with Adam West. And there was another character, I think Catwoman, was designed off of that show. But after those two characters being in Batman Returns, they actually based their designs in the cartoon off of that. So that's why the Penguin in that cartoon looks a lot like Danny DeVito, and
Yeah, he's
I
like
think that's
short
cool.
and plump.
Yes, very short, like thinning black hair. But I am grateful at this movie and what Tim Burton did with this. And like I said, I'm not a huge Tim Burton fan from the word go. Like, he wasn't in my wheelhouse growing up. I don't have this kind of hero worship. I think the setting looks really cool, but also, I guess I'm just not a true goth person. Even though I listen to a lot of goth music, because I'm like, it's kind of like, I kind of like brighter movies that have dark spots, like a dark person in them. Like, maybe that's my problem with Nosferatu ultimately, and the Batman. Like, those movies are too dark. I'm like, well, you got to have a brighter movie for something dark to stand out in. But that's just me.
I liked the
yeah.
environments in this. I think it was the best part of the movie.
Yeah, no global warming yet.
Yeah, they dump all those chemicals and shit from the factory in the water.
Well, we got to talk about the reveal a little later on when Vicky Vale just shows up in the Bat Dungeon with Bruce Wayne sitting there
With Alfred.
with Alfred. He brings her up there, and there's no huge moment. Like,
Yeah, it's just like, here you go. Here he is.
I remember watching that in this moment. I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck? Like, there's no like, oh my god, you're Batman? I sucked your dick. There was nothing like that. And
it's
He's like, oh, I guess
it's
you're
fucking
Batman. Huh?
nuts.
Even
Well,
the Joker,
what's crazy-
even the
funny-
Joker figures that out. He's like, hey, oh yeah, he's Batman. Oh, okay.
it's funny because like he was going to tell her, right, and then they got interrupted when the Joker showed up at her apartment or whatever, and so in a way it's like, does Alfred know that he was going to like reveal that he was Batman? But you're right, there is no like, they don't really make a moment out of it, and it's so nonchalant, like, oh yeah, there he is, and she's already been in the Batcave with Batman.
Yeah, and
But
then
it's
she's
like-
looking at his face, and he keeps turning, so the shadows will cover up the skin where his mouth is.
Which I will say, the framing and everything on that is really well done.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I think it's perfect how he steps back and like the shadows just like the only thing you can see is his eyes. You know,
Yeah.
I did like all that scene where he's trying to hide his face from her.
I think the movie is well shot, and I think the movie's well made, and I like Michael Keaton's performance as Batman and stuff. And I'm sitting here just like, for me, I feel like there are some things that were edited out of this movie to get it at a semi-decent runtime of 2 hours and 7 minutes that probably add a little more context. Like, that scene should have been way fucking bigger, or at least had it earlier. And it's like, not earlier, but like a little later on, like right before the big thing. And I will say this, because I am a defender of the Dark Knight trilogy. There's people out there that says Nolan ruined Batman with those movies, and there's people that will just shit talk Zack Snyder because Batman doesn't kill any people. Batman kills a shit ton of people in this movie.
Oh, that's something else I noticed too. He, besides the obvious one of just straight up killing the Joker, right? When he's climbing the bell tower, he literally just throws somebody off into like the middle part that they just fall to their death. And it's not even just in this movie. In Batman Returns, which I don't want to talk too much about the future movies and stuff because we'll get to those eventually. But in Batman Returns, there's a specific scene where I think like he knocks someone down into a manhole or something, and then like literally drops a bomb, like a stick of dynamite or something, onto them. So it's like people being on their high horse and stuff with Batman versus Superman. I never understood that because like he kills people in the earlier movies, but you don't hear people just like ranting and raving about it online. You know, I think the Nolan movies are the ones that really, as far as on film, they're the ones that really put it forth. Like, no, I have a code. I won't kill anybody. But this Batman, he's like, I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
He's like, fuck you, Joker. I just realized you killed my parents. I'm gonna fucking kill you.
I mean, it's not like he's killing someone, like someone just like stole an old lady's purse and he's like shooting him in the head or something.
Yeah.
But he's like,
he's not the
Vicky
Punisher.
Vale is in trouble. The Joker is literally terrorizing the city. I have to get to him. These people are in my way, and some of them are going to end up dead.
Yeah.
So,
But remember when he goes to the factory for the Joker stuff, there's like 4 people attacking his car. He drops out a fucking grenade, and literally a second later, everything blows up, and he drives out of there. Like,
I forgot about that already.
that's not fucking Batman. So any of you fuckers out there that want to sit there and complain about Zack Snyder's Batman, oh, Batman doesn't kill. He fucking kills people in this movie you probably fucking worship. So shut the fuck up.
So, Owen,
Yes.
Owen, what are your general feelings about this movie?
I mean, I thought it was okay. There was some weird stuff about like how they kind of changed around the story a little bit. That I thought was kind of a little odd, and I thought it was kind of weird that Batman was going around killing people. But one of the big things I remember that stuck out to me is that Batman's costume sucks. Like, it looks fucking ugly as shit.
It does.
It is the ugliest fucking
They
Batman
improve on it
costume.
in the next movie.
Oh, they do.
So that's something that I do want to talk about, and I think when we do all these Batman movies, I do want to touch on is the look of the suit specifically, and I think that from below the neck, it looks fine. I like the dark blacks I like the yellow logo that they use.
Yes.
But the cowl looks so thick.
Yeah.
And you can tell he can't turn his head. Like every time he turns, he has to like turn his entire body to like look from left to right.
Yeah, it's incredibly distracting. And in the Nolan movies, he couldn't move his neck either, could he?
Yeah, that's in the first movie. Well, the second movie, he tells Lucius Fox, "I like to be able to turn my neck." He goes, "Okay." So I wonder if that's a reference, like to that, like a little nod. Because even though the Nolan movie,
I think with the Nolan, I think with the Nolan movie specifically, there was a similar issue with Batman Begins. It's not as bad. It's not as egregious as this.
Like, they work around
I do think that there was
a lot better.
Yeah,
and this,
and then
it's
in
so
the second
it's
one,
so obvious that he that it like affects his ability to like actually like portray like I'm a badass when he has to fucking like go whoa, whoa.
Yeah, because the way when he turns his whole body, it's almost like he's in shock.
Yeah, it's like he fucking like he has like a stick up his ass. He's like,
there's a scene in the next movie where he gives this like really creepy ass grin, and it's a gif that people use. But it's gonna be interesting when we get to that. But to me, I like Michael Keaton as Batman. I don't love Michael Keaton as Batman. I know he's revered by everybody because he's the first one they saw. Like, I'm sure the people from the '60s who saw Adam West will say Adam West is the best Batman.
Dude, no, people in the '80s, or when it was announced that Michael Keaton was going to be Batman, people were furious.
Oh yeah, they were shitting on that. But I'm talking about now, like when we got Christian Bale as Batman, they're like, no, he's not Michael Keaton. And when we got Ben Affleck, he's definitely not Michael Keaton. I'm like, yeah, I mean, Keaton's a smaller guy. I mean, he's at most like 5'10".
Yeah.
Like in his height. He probably needed to have a little bit more extensions in his boots when he was Batman to be a little bit taller. Because Vicky Vale, when she's standing next to him in the bat suit, she was like eye level with his fucking ears. Like his bat ears. I'm not talking about his regular ears.
Bringing up Michael Keaton. Bringing up Michael Keaton, that is a good segue into. I actually wrote down the list of actors that they considered for Batman, who Tim Burton actually wanted to be Batman. Before Michael Keaton was chosen, of course, and a very interesting choice in Batman that's tied to an interesting director that they were lining up for this movie, and it fell through. But let me preface it all by saying, this film took a long time to be made. They were literally talking about making a Batman movie in the late 70s. And they wanted it to be darker, but they had problems getting it greenlit for years because so many people at the time still associated Batman with the Adam West television series. So studios wanted it to be campy.
Yes.
And they struggled for several years they were bouncing around with different director choices. They had several different people writing the script. There were 2 script writers in particular that had a script going around for 4 or 5 years before Tim Burton was brought on, and he basically had it tossed out and had a new person. I believe his name's Sam
Haynes.
Sam Payne. You want to sip on Sam Payne? No, I can't remember the writer's name, the screenwriter's name now, but he had him come in and write a darker script, which the studios then, particularly Warner Brothers, actually ended up greenlighting because of the recent popularity of things like The Dark Knight Returns and The Killing Joke.
Mm-hmm.
Which
real quick,
obviously
Cody,
that stuff. Yeah,
I got something to say real quick. So Adam West. So you can separate this into kind of eras. Excuse me. Adam West, that Batman, and then you had the Superman cartoon in the 40s. I think there was a Batman show in the 40s as well. That was live action.
Yeah, there's like a Batman serial type thing.
Was it 77 the first Superman movie come out, Cody?
78? Maybe
78.
It's 77 or 78.
Okay, so it's in the same range as Star Wars, the original, and the original Halloween. So you have that, and I know the success they had with those movies kept, like, okay, let's do a Batman movie down the road. And obviously, like you said, it's been in development since the 70s. But another DC hero got a movie before Batman got a movie. So you had Superman, and for this new era, you had Superman.
Swamp Thing.
So Swamp Thing got a fucking movie before fucking Batman did. Which is pretty fucking good. And like we reviewed the original Swamp Thing.
We haven't reviewed the original Swamp Thing.
Yeah, we have.
No, we haven't. We have not done Swamp Thing.
I swear to God we have, because we talked about it.
We've talked about it, maybe, but
we've talked about it, but we have not reviewed that movie on this show.
Are you fucking serious?
No,
Hold on,
I'm serious.
I'm going through 4,000 episodes. Calm down, hold on.
While you do that, there's actually an interesting connection between Swamp Thing and Batman '89. Because of Swamp Thing, they actually had considered Wes Craven as a potential director for Batman '89.
You have my attention.
But that obviously didn't go anywhere. Another interesting director choice that they had was Ivan Reitman. And I guess there were actually significant discussions with Reitman. And for those of you who don't know, Ivan Reitman was the director of Ghostbusters. He wanted Bill Murray to be Batman.
Oh my God.
And he wanted so I will say too, during the developmental years of this idea, and with the earlier script, Robin was part of the script. Okay. So Ivan Reitman wanted Bill Murray as Batman, and he wanted Eddie Murphy to play Robin. So I definitely think that Reitman would have been making a campy, comedic Batman film.
Yes. And also Eddie Murphy, because I know in this movie, fast forward when we get to the next movie, I was reading that they wanted one of the Wayans brothers to be Robin. And
that was what Tim Burton wanted for the third film.
Yeah, which I've got, all that's fine, but I'm just going to say Robin has to be a tad bit shorter than Batman to make it work. I feel like Eddie Murphy and Bill Murray would have been the same height. It just doesn't work. You always associate Robin as the boy wonder, and then when he's adult size, he's fucking Nightwing. So it makes more sense that he's tall or taller than Batman, because he's a fucking adult at this point. Robin has to be shorter. Having Bill Murray who's fucking 5'9" on his best day.
Hey guys, I'll be right back. I gotta go take a dump.
No, you're not.
I gotta jack off.
That boy says he has to go poop.
I'm thinking about Bill Murray too much.
Hey, Cody, what does he say in the league? Rafi goes, every time I shit, I come. Is that what Owen's doing?
Yeah.
These are my load-bearing chairs.
So we're gonna proceed on without Owen at this. So talking about potential Batman actors. Throughout the process, the actors that were, or at least some of the actors that were considered, include Mel Gibson, Kevin Costner, Charlie Sheen, Tom Selleck, Harrison Ford, Dennis Quaid, and the choice that Burton actually wanted before they ended up going with Michael Keaton was Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe at this point was not
famous
nearly as famous as he is now, or even as he would be 15 years down the road. The studio very much wanted a well-known actor to play Batman, and that's a lot of the reason why a lot of these actors were considered. But ultimately, they ended up going with Michael Keaton. I think it may have been the screenwriter. I can't remember exactly, but I think the screenwriter told Burton about, or suggested, Michael Keaton after Michael Keaton had just been in like a drama film that had come out, and so they started talking about Keaton, and the studio actually kind of got cold feet, right? They're like, well, we don't think Keaton's a great idea, and I think it was after the success of...
It is Warner Brothers.
Yeah, and after the success of Beetlejuice, though, then they're like, okay. Same thing with Burton's like script. Like apparently they were kind of like cold. They had cold feet about the whole thing. They brought Burton on because of the success of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and they got cold feet. And then after Beetlejuice was successful, they're like, okay, we'll let you do it.
When was Beetlejuice 88?
I don't know off the top of my head.
No, they would have had to have filmed this movie in 88.
Yeah,
wouldn't they have? I thought Beetlejuice was after this movie. I don't know why I thought that. Hold on. I gotta look this shit up real quick.
Beetlejuice.
That's kind of fucked up, ain't gonna lie.
Beetlejuice. Yeah.
1988. Okay, so that came out... Okay, so that came out March 1988. So as soon as that movie had some success, well, I mean, it didn't hit $100 million.
But this is... Yeah.
But it had success. They had to have just like greenlight Batman and got into it because this came out in July.
Remember too that Batman, this script and everything had pretty much already been floating around, and they had brought Burton on for pre-production purposes and everything and planning after Pee-wee's Big Adventure. So he was already involved. It's not like they started from scratch right after Beetlejuice came out. They already had things in motion, but then Warner Brothers started kind of backing out. And then when Beetlejuice was successful, they're like, okay, let's do this. But that being said, they did put restrictions on Burton as to like as far as like what he could do. They didn't, I guess, 100% completely trust him to do his whole vision or his own vision entirely with Batman. We'll see what that looks like with Batman Returns. Okay, we'll allow you to do this. So yeah, they ended up going ahead with it. Now on the opposite side of things with casting is the Joker, obviously the other big major character in this film. This one the studio also insisted on having a big name actor, and they did not. They really got their way with the big name actor, which is why we ended up with Jack Nicholson. And they had actually wanted Nicholson as the Joker as far back as 1980 or 1981, in the early days of this whole thing being planned. But some of the other names involved or that were in contention for the Joker include Tim Curry, David Bowie, John Lithgow, Ray Liotta, James Wood, and Burton's choice would have been John Glover. Now, I don't know if you know who John Glover is right off the top of your head, but most people who are comic book fans and fans of comic book shows or movies would best know John Glover as Lex Luthor's dad in Smallville.
So, I never watched Smallville either. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. It's fine. But he was great in that show. But yeah, he was the one who Burton wanted as the Joker. Again, he's not super famous at this time, and the studio really got their way. They had wanted Nicholson for years, and that's what they ended up getting. So,
Cody, you want to have another little trivia real quick?
Sure.
Before we move off?
Sure.
Yeah. You know who was going to be the original voice of the Joker in the animated series?
I don't.
Tim Curry.
Oh, seriously?
He actually had recorded some scenes. There's clips on YouTube you can find that when they're talking about in documentary about Tim Curry doing the voice. And I think they said from a perspective, I know I just read today that Tim Curry developed bronchitis during the original recording session, so they just had to like pivot. But I also think that they didn't really like his take for the character, and then they ended up getting Mark Hamill, because Mark Hamill had done like a lot of voice acting at that point, and they went with him, and the rest is history. And then Mark Hamill also did the Hobgoblin's voice in the Spider-Man animated series, which sounds a lot like Joker. Not exactly, but there's a little bit like that. I don't know how much range Mark Hamill has. But yeah, Tim Curry would have, like, it's interesting that he would have been in line to be Joker in this movie, and then he's Joker literally a year later when they start production for the animated series.
Yeah, I actually made a note of that because I'm curious as to what that sounds like. Obviously, I think we best know Tim Curry from the It TV miniseries or TV film.
Speak for yourself. I know him best from Home Alone fucking 2. He's the butler that Kevin's running from. Not the butler. He's like the head person of the hotel that Kevin is using his parents' credit card and shit like that.
Yeah, I've also seen him in Clue, the movie based on the board game from like the 80s.
The thing I always think about when someone says I love you, like, is, talking to family or whatever, there's a scene where Kevin's playing the gangster tape in the hotel, and the hotel people are chasing after him. So they hear this dude, and they hear gunshots. They all get on their knees. It's like, he tells them, he goes, the tape goes, now get on your knees and tell me you love me. And he's like, excuse me? And then Kevin rewinds the tape. He's like, go ahead and do it. So they all get on their knees, and they're like, I love you. I'm just thinking about him being like the first person. Rob Schneider's in that movie too. I guess it's one of his first times like on camera. So it's just interesting with Tim Curry. But yeah, that's what I know him as. I didn't know about it till my much later years after I wasn't a virgin.
I gotcha. That's my mistake there. So while we're waiting, I don't know if Owen's back yet.
Yeah, I'm back.
But okay.
That was a quick shit.
Oh, you gave me a fright.
Shotgun blasted that shit.
Oh my god, I want to hear that.
You hear that? That's the sound of a shotgun.
Dude, Cody, I literally was thinking last night. I'm like, I wonder if Cody ever thinks about the Gold Cobra album. As I was jumping into the shower, because I'm like, it's so Conia, Golden Cobra.
So quick sidebar, I guess. A couple months back, we planted a vegetable garden, and like I framed it out, and we had to like buy a bunch of topsoil or whatever to like put in it in the garden box. And while I was doing all that, I was listening to the Gold Cobra album.
That is awesome. That is fucking dope, man. I swear. Does it still hold up?
Oh yeah, I love it. So real quick, I guess I'll run through the basic details. 37 minutes in, and then I'll read this. I wrote like this brief synopsis, just so we're trying this new thing where we're not going beat by beat for the plot. I think we're having a great discussion so far, and we'll get back to that. But I do want to get this stuff out of the way. So as we've already talked about, Batman was directed by Tim Burton. That was released on June 23rd, 1989 in the United States. I believe it's released in July in the United Kingdom, maybe August. The runtime is 126 minutes. The budget was $48 million, and the box office draw was $411.6 million, making it one of Tim Burton's most successful directorial outings. So, as for the synopsis, in the crime-riddled streets of Gotham, the masked vigilante Batman is a name whispered amongst the city's criminals. One particular criminal, Jack Napier, is part of a large crime syndicate. Jack is sent into a trap in the form of a heist at Access Chemicals, where he first encounters the Batman. After being disarmed, Jack falls into a vat of chemicals which turns his skin white, his hair green, and distorts his face, effectively turning him into the Joker. The Joker proceeds to murder his boss and wreak havoc in the city of Gotham. All the while, Bruce Wayne tries to balance his romantic feelings for photographer Vicky Vale with his need to take down the Joker. Ultimately, Batman is able to slay the Joker by dropping him from the top of a bell tower, saving Gotham at last, at least for now. So, reading through that, it reminded me of one scene I wanted to talk about. Probably the worst scene in this movie, my least favorite scene probably of this entire 4-movie run of this continuity, right? Does anyone have a guess as to what I'm going to say?
Hold on. Is it the Japanese samurai sword guy fighting Batman?
No. It's the museum scene.
When they're dancing to Prince?
Dancing to Prince and just like painting over paintings that are there.
You can tell the paintings are like printed. They're not even actually paintings.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's just like, this seems so silly and juvenile. The Joker's literally murdered people, and this is what he's spending his time doing. What is this?
It does feel a little weird with like how they kind of portrayed Jack Napier prior to him being the Joker. Like, he just seems a little bit more serious. I could believe any other Joker doing that. Like, you know, if it was Mark Hamill or something like that, you know, I'd buy it. But it does feel a little funny.
Yeah, the animated series Joker, it would fit, and I think like 66 or 60s Batman Joker.
Roman.
Yeah, that would fit too. Yeah, but like this, it just does not work.
I feel like Mark Hamill would do it, but it would be different. Like, I don't know, he probably would like just be like fucking ripping up the paintings or some shit or something.
You gotta remember the Joker in the Batman animated series was based off this Joker. So this Joker was kind of doing different things than we had seen Joker at that point. Like, and again, this also had to still be aimed for kids. So him killing people, like, he still killed people. But it had to be that kind of like funny, like he's just at this point, he's lost his mind with all this shit. And this obviously isn't like the actual origin of the Joker in the comic books. He really has multiple origins that no one ever knows if they're true or not. So just one of those things. One thing, his number 2 guy, Bob, the guy with the straggly long hair, looks like the guitarist from System of a Down. So real quick on your Google machines, you guys type in Bob Batman 89 on Google, and then type in guitars from System of a Down in a separate one. You just guys look at them real quick. I gotta see it. I want to hear y'all's reaction real quick, live on air.
Would you want to search up? What was it again?
Okay, so
talking about
Bob
Darren Malakian.
I don't know the dude's name for System of a Down. So one's got the devil beard and the long hair that's kind of got a receding hair.
Yeah, it's Malakian. I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
Yeah, so it's the System of a Down guitarist, and then Bob from this movie.
Yep. How the fuck do you spell that?
B-O-B?
No, not Bob. Milwaukeean? Fucking...
Malakian, Malakian.
Malikaliki Maka.
Is the thing to say.
Maliki, my Loki.
Cody, have you seen them both?
Bob the Gooner.
Yeah.
His character's name is Bob the Gooner.
Bob the Gooner.
Don't they look a lot alike?
Yeah, they do. They have like a similar vibe. They wear the same fucking hat.
Yeah, I know. That was the first thing. I'm like, damn, dude, this dude is like, I don't know, a reincarnation of Bob from Batman '89. And Cody, I know you would remember this guy, Kazarni.
Yeah.
From WWE. Well, before that, his name is Shin Bodhi. If you look up Shin Bodhi, in TNA, and then like his other and outside of like main wrestling appearances, he looks like that too. He's got that kind of like the forehead that's kind of back, the hair pulled in a little braid, and the little devil goatee. So, Jack Palance, I thought it was funny that his character's name is Jack. The Joker's character is Jack because his name is Jack Nicholson. And then
his name is Jack in The Shining.
It is, isn't it? Too? Yeah, it's the same guy. And then Jack Palance, his boss. I know that dude. Like he's had a long career. He's passed away by now, but he was in 2 movies, City Slickers, with Billy Crystal, and actually I don't know the guy's name. The tall burglar from Home Alone movies.
Marv.
You know,
I think.
Yeah, Marv. It's like Marv. So that guy's, I can't remember his name. So they're 2 cowboys, and they meet up with that guy, and it's just real funny because they're not real cowboys and shit like that. It's a funny ass movie. But yeah, so I recognize Jack from that. He also played Dracula in like a 70s adaptation that's on like Tubi right now. I thought it was funny when, Joker takes over and he looks at Bob and he gives him the same speech. He's like, "You're my number one god." He's like mimicking him like perfectly. I'm like, yeah, there's a reason why they gave this role to Jack Nicholson,
How do you all feel about them making Joker the man who killed Bruce Wayne's parents?
It's easy to digest for a new audience.
Yeah.
And that's what this movie is aimed for.
I 100% agree. I feel like it connects all the characters together a lot better for this mostly self-contained movie.
Yeah, and like I said, it's for this movie. It's not like, they went back and added it in to fit into a prequel. And
for sure. Yeah. I mean,
like
it's just, I know it's an interesting thing because I think in most continuities, the man who kills Batman's parents is Joe Chill, who's just kind of a low down nobody, really.
You say that. Now, as me, because I remember seeing this movie at my grandma's house one time. This wasn't one I watched a lot, but this was like my first experience with Batman, if it wasn't the Batman animated series. So when I watched the Batman Begins, and it wasn't the Joker that killed the parents, it did throw me off. Again, like I said, I didn't have like access to comic books and shit like that. My uncle, like, he was the person who's like 13 years older than me that had like comics, and the 2 action figures he had was fucking Spawn and the Punisher. So he didn't really talk about Batman and shit like that. So I didn't know any of the history till like much later on. But again, also, like, it doesn't like fit because Jack Nicholson doesn't look that much older than Michael Keaton. We're going to be completely honest with each other. He's probably like 10 years older than him. Mm-hmm. And I'm over here looking at the guy they have playing young Jack Nicholson and shooting his parents. I'm like, that hairline does not match Jack Nicholson's at all.
Well, yeah. To me, it was his teeth. I was like, damn, those teeth, they're rough. They don't look like Jack Nicholson's teeth.
Yeah, he actually looks like the guy who played Joe Chill in Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. Like, if you look that dude up, I don't know his name. Like, he has like kind of blondish hair, like gangly looking teeth, kind of like that, Almost looks like Steve Buscemi in a way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, I just thought it was an interesting change, but yeah, I agree that it works in the context of this film. Which I like how they tie it in with the have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight thing that he likes to say, which is also a little bit corny when you think about it, especially when he's just like, hey, I don't know what it means. I just like to say it to all of my friends.
I do love that. I love that reasoning. But it's weird. He only says it one time. And he says it to Bruce in this entire movie. And then Bruce remembers him saying it then, too. And is like, oh, yeah, I get it. It's like something.
And then Batman says it. Batman says it to him in the end, in the encounter in the bell tower.
But I don't think, does the Joker ever sit there and say, "You're Bruce Wayne"? I don't remember. I don't know if the Joker ever figures it out.
At the end,
I don't remember him ever saying it.
Bruce says, or Bruce, Jesus, Batman says it too. He's like, "You killed my parents," and then Joker's like, "I was just a kid when I killed your parents," or some shit like that.
Yeah, speaking of that line, I don't like that because it's like the Joker's 40 at this point, and he's supposed to remember he's killed how many people in his life, and he's supposed to remember that he specifically killed Bruce Wayne's parents fucking 30 years ago. Like he never killed anybody else's parents in the city,
I don't know if this was a nod to that, but there's a villain in Batman Beyond who's like a glowing green and black skeleton, and he killed Terry's Batman in that series. He kills Terry's dad, and then he finally confronts him. He goes, "You killed my dad," and the bad guy pauses. He goes, "Do you have any idea how little that rings a bell?" He's like, "Yeah, how many people I've killed?" And I'm like, that's pretty funny. That may have been a little nod to that too.
But I do want to talk about our thoughts on Jack Nicholson's Joker, but I don't think we ever got Owen's opinion on Michael Keaton as Batman specifically.
He was okay. He doesn't have as much of like a on-screen presence, though. I feel like.
Are you telling me he's lacking in the charisma department? He wouldn't become a great professional wrestler?
Maybe a little, yeah.
Well, what about when he grabs the fire poker? He's like, "You want to get nuts?
You want to
get nuts?
Fucking crazy."
That felt so out of character for Bruce Wayne.
Oh, yeah. I know. It's like it doesn't even feel in character for Batman. It's like, what does he do? What is he doing?
Yeah, like Bruce Wayne
I think,
would just still be quiet. He'd be like fucking all calculating and shit.
I think what he's really trying to do is just get the attention off of Vicky, and he's trying to lure the Joker into shooting him because he's hidden that metal plate in his jacket, which is also like you're really trusting that he's going to shoot that somewhere in that specific area on your body and not just in the face.
Yeah, I'm assuming he was going to aim for his heart area of his chest. And that's just in my head canon now as I was watching this. Is like, it would have been not decent. It would have been kind of cool if they showed a scene where he was at least analyzing some of this guy's victims. And he's like, he's always getting shot in that area. And that's something that pops up later on. Of course,
yeah, but see, that's the thing with Batman movies. Like, right? Like, we don't ever really get... I don't feel like we ever truly get the detective side of Batman until the Batman.
Yeah. Ugh. That was a big push of that movie too. Was they were like, he's a detective.
It only takes 3 fucking hours to get that point across. So,
but it's better. Like Batman is known as the world's greatest detective, and like these movies are pretty much just he types something into a supercomputer and it spits out the information, or Alfred is telling him the information. It's like, what the fuck? Are you even a detective or not?
He just blunders into shit. He's like, oh, okay, yeah. Makes sense.
He goes, Master Wayne, you know that woman who stole your cock the other day? Here she is right now.
Yeah. It's like such a huge difference between like the animated series and like even the Arkham games, where he's always like, this blood has cum in it, and I can tell. He's like, I'll bat scan this blood. This is the Joker's cum.
He takes his fingers and wipes up the blood.
Yep.
It's a mix of blood and clay.
Clayface must be behind this. Can we talk about Vicky Vale's apartment with the weird Adonis naked man statues?
I didn't really pay attention to all that. We could talk about that.
All the decor. Just a quick aside, I guess. I don't know why all the decor in her fucking little apartment. It's all like Asian shit, and then naked statues of fucking guys. And there's that painting of some dude bathing on the beach naked.
Those war photos that she took really made her some bank. So
yeah.
She's got to use it on something. So we touched on it again, so I guess we'll talk about it more fully, but Alfred, bringing Vicky into the Batcave. This is not the last time that happens in these 4 movies. I think Alfred is just super willing to just show people the fucking Batcave. He's like, you see this? You see this shit? I have to clean this.
It's the only interesting thing he has. He's like, yeah, I'm going to tell you a secret. Don't let anybody know, but I work for the Batman.
I mean, you'll see. It's like, I'm pretty sure it's in every one of these 4 movies that Alfred is either directly showing someone to the Batcave, or he is basically through negligence allowing someone to discover it. I'll just say that, because I know, Lance, you've definitely seen all 4 of these movies, right?
Yeah. I just looked it up. It's the same guy who plays Alfred in all 4 movies, and it's the same guy who plays Jim Gordon in all 4 movies, which I recognize that actor, too. He played in a couple episodes in The Heat of the Night.
Yeah, these side characters can stay in place, but the main actors apparently just, yeah. And Batman has a different love interest in every movie too, so don't expect to see Vicky Vale again.
It's fucking hilarious to me because I was reading on like Batman Returns. I even put Batman Returns on. I watched probably the first 30 minutes today, and I was reading it, and evidently Tim Burton was interested in coming back to do a 3rd Batman movie, and Warner Brothers was encouraging him to go do a different project, and then it dawned on him that they didn't want him back.
So that's not the story I've heard, though. The story I heard is that a lot of it had to do with Warner Brothers wanted to like make the 3rd movie more colorful and more like the comic book
animated series,
because they wanted to sell toys. And and specifically there were a lot of issues with, they had a deal with McDonald's for Happy Meals toys for Batman Returns, and I don't remember if they like canceled it, or if just like McDonald's was like very unhappy with like what they had to work with for these toys. But that was also a big thing with them going into the 3rd movie. And Tim Burton, the story I've read and heard is that Tim Burton was basically like, I don't want to make a movie just to sell toys, so he ended up walking away. But it could be a combination of both. I don't know. It could be that he didn't want to do what they wanted, and they're like, oh well, here, you go do this thing while we do what we want over here.
Yeah, but I think it dawned on him that they didn't want him back. I think he assumed that they did. And Burton, they said that this movie, Batman Returns, I should say, was like the anti-blockbuster movie. Like, he did a lot of things to like be different. It's one of those things. It's just kind of weird. Like, but people praise Batman Returns as like one of the greatest Batman movies, and I'm like, yeah, it's okay.
I wouldn't say it's one of the greatest Batman movies, but I do prefer it over Batman '89 for sure.
Yeah,
but Batman Returns is also a Tim Burton movie. Which will, again, when we do Batman Returns, we'll get more in depth with that aspect of it. But yeah, Batman Returns is very much, oh, you made a bunch of money with Batman '89, you can do whatever the fuck you want with this movie. Huh. We trust you. And he basically made a Tim Burton-ass Batman movie.
And it's funny, like, they also, Michael Keaton, they wanted him back for the 3rd one. And he said, they wanted me back, but they... he just wasn't a good movie, man. And that's what the quote said. And then there was another source that said that he wanted $15 million to be Batman. And then his partner come out and said, like, the money wasn't the issue or some shit like that. He got paid $5 million for this one. He got paid $10 million for the next one. So
yeah, I wonder
go
too
get your money.
I wonder too if it has something to do with the fact that Burton wasn't coming back to it. I'll do.
Is like Johnny Depp when it comes to, like, collaborations with Tim Burton. Like, those are his two homeboys. I don't know if Burton and Keaton are as close as like Burton and Depp are. It's kind of weird, like,
Yeah, because Johnny Depp's in a lot of Tim Burton movies.
But if you think about like the two Batman, the two Beetlejuice, Michael Keaton's like another one of his go-to guys, like main actor wise,
Yeah. Michael Keaton, in The Flash. That's not Tim Burton. But yeah, so we'll talk about all that when we do Batman Returns. But let's talk about, I think, one of my most controversial opinions about this movie. I think, at least compared to the larger fan base for Batman films, and that's Jack Nicholson as the Joker, which I do not like Jack Nicholson as the Joker. I do not like this interpretation of the Joker.
What's wrong with it?
I think it is sort of what we already talked about, right? With like the museum scene. It's a mixed bag. It doesn't feel like certain times that it's even the same person. I know the Joker's supposed to be kind of chaotic, but it just doesn't feel like the same thing. Also, don't really like just Jack Nicholson's portrayal of the character as far as like his voice and everything, because it's just Jack Nicholson fucking wearing makeup.
Yeah.
Also, I think he could have done a better job, and this is also kind of just a criticism of the prosthetics they use on his face. It's supposed to look like he's smiling all the time, right? And when Jack Nicholson, the man, is not smiling, you can notice it through the prosthetics. So it just looks bizarre because his mouth is just like, you can tell where his mouth underneath the prosthetics is going into like a frown, but then you got these really awful looking prosthetics on the outside trying to make it look like he's smiling when he should have just been smiling underneath, because Jack Nicholson's mouth just naturally fits with this character.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't work that well all the time with the prosthetics. There's also one shot in particular with the prosthetics where it's right before they go into the bell tower, and he's got Vicky with him, and he looks up, and so the camera is basically shooting Jack Nicholson from like the underside of his chin, right? Mm-hmm. You can see the gap in between the prosthetics and his face.
Oh, I didn't pay attention. That was a good catch.
Yeah, because of the angle. I notice it every time I watch this, but you can see the gap in there on the sides of his mouth between the prosthetic and his skin. And it just, I know they do what they could do, right? And I don't know, man. I just, out of every live action version of the Joker there's been, with the exception of maybe the brief cameo from what's his name, Barry Keoghan or whatever in The Batman, Jack Nicholson is probably my least favorite on-screen Joker there is.
Whoa.
Yeah. Even less so than the 60s Joker. I prefer that Joker over Jack Nicholson.
Owen, you want to go next? I'll go last.
Just our opinions on Jack Nicholson as the Joker. He's
yeah.
I thought he was okay. I like Jack Nicholson. I think he always has a good performance, and I do agree that it is a little weird having him have this kind of like a non-typical backstory that the Joker typically has. Like, he's like an already established like big gangster basically already, and he seems kind of serious when you see him kind of before, which I know, like, him falling into the Nickelodeon slime might change his attitude, but he does kind of have a little bit of a back and forth. But I think overall it's just so fun to watch Jack Nicholson like be the fucking creepy goofball that he kind of always is, that I can kind of look past it. So I enjoyed him as the Joker. That's all. That's all.
That's all I have to say about that.
That's all I gotta say about that.
Well, I was just looking up this. I didn't realize that about Caesar Romeo, who played, the Joker. I have to disagree. I think he's fine as the Joker. That's just me. If we didn't have this Joker, we wouldn't have got Mark Hamill's Joker. Like, they literally Like it's based off of this, like the
Sure.
look, and like I said, it is Jack Nicholson as the Joker. It's not Jack Nicholson playing the Joker like we had with Heath Ledger, and then like Jared Leto attempted to do.
Now, that was the best Joker. I think it was that
Boy, like,
I think that fat Australian kid. I think was probably the best Joker.
I'm the Joker, baby. Now, look, I will say this. So when we're looking at just portrayals, I'm gonna have to say Heath Ledger's number one. I'd have to put number two, controversial, Joaquin Phoenix. And then
Even after
I'd have to put
he got fucked in the ass.
Well, I didn't watch the second.
Oh,
movie,
okay.
So, we're good.
I didn't either. I just know he gets fucked in the ass. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't really care like what he wants to do because evidently Caesar Romeo was come out and was very private about his life or something like that. So for a legacy character, Caesar Romeo is Batman. He should be in there too, Jack Nicholson. Like the worst Batman, worst Batman is obviously George Clooney. The worst Joker so far is Barry Cornigan because he doesn't have a presence. He just has two scenes in the Batman. I'm not super thrilled with him looking like he's a leper with a fucked up face and shit like that. Jared Leto's
treated
Joker
me like a leper. Yeah.
Jared Leto's Joker in the Justice League Snyder Cut is pretty good. Jared Leto's Joker, we were all excited about because we heard like he was putting so much into the role for the Suicide Squad. Isn't great. He was putting so much into the role, it came across as a try-hard.
Yeah.
Instead of and then I think he just kind of was able to like freely do it in that Snyder Cut, and that's a different thing. But
yeah, also just to touch on the Suicide Squad, not the Suicide Squad, but Suicide Squad thing, that reportedly was also a case of the studio meddling, editing the shit out of that movie, changing things, making them reshoot certain things. So like David Ayer's original vision wasn't even realized. And I mean, as we know with the Justice League movie, Warner Brothers was really bad about doing that shit around that time.
Well,
and
so
by the time they actually let their directors do what the fuck they wanted, they had already basically damaged the DCEU so badly that it didn't matter anymore.
And it turns out, I guess DC's Warner Brothers has been like this entire time because they ruined Atari, as you told me this like a day or two ago.
Yeah, they owned Atari when Atari like basically like went under in the 80s. So, yeah,
which is
Warner
just insane.
But sucks.
So Warner Brothers, like we backed Warner Brothers because I wanted an alternative to Marvel. Unfortunately, much like WCW being an alternative to WWE, they eventually just start mimicking the competition. So yeah, unfortunately, Warner Brothers are just fucking idiots. I hope Superman's a fucking hit. I have after seeing the trailer and just shit like that, I'm like, you know what? I think it's I have it's gonna be fucking weird having all these fucking random ass characters I don't give a shit about or care about ever show up.
What, you don't like Hawk Girl, Green Lantern?
No, I mean I know Hawk Girl from the Justice League. I'm talking about the
Crypto.
The black. No, I'm talking about the black dude with the T painted on his face.
I don't know who that is. Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't know the character's name either.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be like rude about it. I'm just saying I don't know anything about it. In Crypto. I don't think I ever heard of Crypto till now, and that's just me. I didn't realize Superman comics is fine. So I watched the Superman movies. I watched the Lois and Clark show on TBS, and I watched Superman Returns. And then the Zack Snyder movies. I'm not, like I said, comic books weren't a huge thing for me. If I was going to buy a comic book, it had to be visually appealing. More often than not,
I'm just surprised
you've
never heard of Crypto though before this.
Well, the 40s Superman cartoon, which I had seen on a couple VHS tapes from a collections that I like from Warner Brothers that I ended up buying or getting when I was a kid. I seen that, but there was no crypto in that Superman cartoon and shit
Yeah.
like that. So like I'm going off of what I've seen off that. I didn't read a lot of Superman shit. You know, I'm not a big again. Ultimately, I'm not a huge comic book person. Like, because I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of comic book people out there that are like, oh, it's not super accurate. And the thing is, it's so funny to me. If they like the director or they respect the director, they're okay with the changes the director makes. If they just like, oh, the movie should have been like comic book accurate, where this Batman movie wasn't comic book accurate. To be honest with you, other than it being the first Batman movie a lot of people see, I don't understand why everybody sucks the cock of this movie so fucking much just because Tim Burton did it.
I'll say that with the Superman thing, the main criticisms I've seen are from like the Snyder cult weirdos out there, and there have been like random criticisms. They're like the Green Lantern that's in there. I don't remember what the character's name is, what specific Green Lantern it is. I just know it's not Hal
like,
Jordan
Green
or
Lantern
John
wouldn't
Stewart,
do this.
But well, no, it's not that. It's like, well, look how goofy he looks. But that's literally exactly how that character looks in the comic. Like,
yes,
with his goofy looking bowl cut and everything. Yeah, and I think I trust James Gunn to do a good job with it. And the trailer, I haven't watched every single trailer because I don't want a bunch of shit spoiled. But the first like full trailer they put out, you know, I watched it and I'm like, this has me super fucking excited for this movie. So hopefully it's great because I want the DCU which is what they're calling this new like continuity or whatever. I want the DCU to be successful because I am looking forward to something like The Brave and the Bold as a big Batman fan. And we haven't had a Robin on screen in film anyway since fucking Batman and Robin. And I'm looking forward to Swamp Thing written by freaking Michael what is his name? Mike Flanagan.
No. Mike Flanagan's doing Clayface.
Clayface, that's right. Clayface. Who the fuck's doing Swamp Thing?
James Mangold, the guy who did
James Mangold, yeah. That ought to be great. But yeah, Mike Flanagan doing Clayface. I know it's weird for them, like, oh yeah, like our fourth movie and this is going to be Clayface, but Mike Flanagan writing a script for this sounds freaking awesome. As long as, you know, it lands, because I know he's not directing it. But I'm a big Mike Flanagan fan, so you know I want this stuff to work. And
it's going to be a small investment. They're making that movie for like $40 million. That's gonna be the budget.
which is a good plan, right? I mean, you don't have to make all your damn movies $300 million. Look at what's happening to the MCU right now. I mean, the MCU. Dude, Thunderbolts is literally. Let me bring it up because I keep an ongoing box office list on my phone, like basically like a super dork. I have every MCU box office in a list in order from most like highest drawing to least. There have been 36 MCU films released in theaters. Okay, 36. Mm-hmm. Thunderbolts is the 32nd highest grossing MCU movie. The 32nd. And it barely beat out Black Widow. Now, I don't know what the numbers will look like after this weekend, but it probably isn't going to make $20 million this weekend to pass Eternals. You know, and even the new Captain America movie is the 30th.
Yeah,
highest grossing on that list. It's crazy.
I have to dunk on this real quick because everybody shits on the Venom movies. So the first Venom movie, there's only like 11 or 12 MCU movies that made more money than the Venom movie. And Venom 3, the one everybody shits on, was like, oh, I'm so glad this is over with. Made more money than Captain America 4 and Thunderbolts. And it's made more money than a few other MCU movies. It's quite hilarious. So it's not going to take much for DC. And then, like I said, in the next 2 or 3 years, Kevin Feige's going to be gone. The MCU's dead. Like, the body's still breathing, but the heart's dead. Or the brain's dead.
Yeah.
So the brain's dead and the heart's still beating. And it's like we're going to get to this point, I guarantee you, Robert Downey Jr. isn't in this for the long haul to do. Victor
No,
Von Doom is going to be in like 3 movies, and then he's going to get killed off. That's when they do the reboot of the universe. That's when Kevin Feige's dipping out.
See, and I think the reboot is coming with these Avengers movies because that's kind of what Secret Wars did in the comics. So I think
Secret Wars is going to be the last of this continuity.
Yeah, and it'll still be like, oh yeah, this is MCU, but this is like, you basically don't have to know anything that came before this because it's all the timelines merged back into one thing. You know, so I'm curious as to how well Fantastic Four is going to do because when you read the way people talk about it online, and yes, that's a movie I'm interested in seeing, but it's not a movie I'm going to go to the theater and see. And the way people talk about it is like, yeah, there's all this excitement and hype around it, but it's just like, is that going to actually translate into box office numbers or not? Because they don't have, I think it's over a year after Fantastic Four releases before there's another MCU film, and it might be Spider-Man, which Spider-Man will draw a lot of money because it's fucking Spider-Man. But
yeah,
because they delayed that first Avengers movie, which was supposed to come out before Spider-Man, which I think is, I can't remember what it's subtitled, but yeah. But anyway, let's get back to Batman.
Yeah.
So, are there any other scenes or anything that you all want to talk about in this? You want to talk about the Joker's ultimate plot of gassing the entire city or poisoning them with toxins in the in their cosmetics and everything.
They reuse that the first season of Batman animated series.
No, do they?
Yeah, there's a one where there's this like these trash heaps that are going around in little mini barges going around the city in Gotham, and they're pushing off this fucking poisonous gas that makes people laugh and laugh and laugh, and it gets to a certain point they're gonna die. And it's based off like these fucking fish that are painted up like the Joker. So yeah, they reuse that. That dude, he's the one that holds the jukebox for the Joker, the big tall bald dude. Owen would probably remember this more than you, Cody. I just remember this dude because there's a scene in that movie that sticks out. He looks like it's not him. He looks like the guy that plays Fifi from the first Mad Max movie. You know, the police chief. Bald dude with the mustache.
Yeah, I remember. I know what you're talking about.
The only reason I remember Fifi is because there's that scene where Mel Gibson's telling him that he's quitting, and he's wearing like a fucking apron over his bare chest, and he's watering his plants, very feminine. And like,
yeah,
okay, it's kind of weird. But that bald dude kind of reminds me of Fifi for some reason. So,
it's definitely like. I do like the overall plan that Joker has. It does feel very Joker.
I'm a Joker, baby.
For all my criticisms of this Joker, it all does feel very Joker. I do find it interesting that, I guess, to make it to where no one can figure out exactly what is poisoned. He's poisoned a bunch of different products, and they have to be like multiples have to be used together in order for it to actually do anything. And you see the shot of the news anchors when they're doing their reporting or whatever, and they just look like a mess because they're not using any sort of cosmetic products whatsoever, which I thought was funny.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, it's. I'm trying to remember what the fucking point I was trying to make. I think that they should have. It was just kind of randomly thrown in there. The reason, like, oh, if you combine this, this, and this, that's what's gonna like happen. There was like no research into it because I'm used to like the Batman animated series. Like there's something that he figures out in the middle of the episode. Like I said, these episodes are like 22 minutes long. It's something he figures out, and then it makes sense how they explain it, you know. And they don't really do that in this movie, which is kind of weird. It's just kind of like all of a sudden they haven't shown him research anything. You've only seen the Batcave like twice, and it's just one time he tells her, "Oh, this is what it is." Like, how the fuck do you know that? But I get it. But I do expect a little bit more from a 2-hour movie. It's not like this movie is like an hour and 20 minutes long. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That again, I think that just goes back to the point of you don't see Batman being a detective in this movie at all.
He just is. I tell you one thing: this Commissioner Gordon they have is almost as dumb as the Commissioner Gordon in the Batman. You know, it's like he can't figure out a fucking thing for himself. Like somebody spoofed it and they had him come as like, "Hey, Batman, I can't figure out how to wipe my ass." Can you tell me?
It's like Commissioner Gordon here has a good heart, but he's just not a great cop. I mean,
no. And it's just funny because I know that actor for like I've seen him in the Andy Griffith Show, seen him in Heat of the Night, and I've seen him on other things, and he doesn't play a lot of times doesn't play like a real serious actor. So for me seeing him like this, I'm like, oh, this is kind of goofy. I know you guys don't have the reference point that I do, but that's where it was coming from for me. I thought it was funny. And then like when the bell comes down, he's the only one that tries to push on. He just kind of shrugs like, oh, all right, boys. And then he goes out there and is like, put the spotlight up there. That's it. Like, let's not find another way up there, boys. They said some of the supporting characters' dialogue just makes look everybody else like a bunch of fucking dumbasses.
Do you think Commissioner Gordon would have made it all the way to the top of that bell tower, though?
I mean, look, every building in Gotham in this movie is like 100 stories.
Yeah, but most buildings have elevators.
Yeah, but not
You don't look like Commissioner Gordon without riding elevators.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, like, you got me there, Sunshine. I don't know what to say.
He would have gotten up a few flights of stairs in that bell tower. Like, all right, guys, you got to go on without me.
You guys won't remember this reference, but Friday the 13th Part 2, with that cop that's chasing after Jason in the woods, the first time you see him with the potato sack, he runs like maybe 30 feet, and then he stops and goes, and then just starts running again. And I'm just assuming that's what this Gordon would do if he tried to make it up like 2 flights of stairs.
Fuck.
The only thing I remember about that cop is when he gets the hammer in the back of his head.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and he goes, ow, god damn.
That was a fucking sweet ass. That kill was better than the kill in Halloween 2 when they used the hammer. Like, it's funny, I don't know which movie came out first. I feel like Friday the 13th 2 came out first. And they had the same exact kill. Like, Michael's is like the cop sees him because he's looking through doors, and all of a sudden Michael's behind a door, and he kills him from the front and hits him in the head with the fucking hammer. But this one, you know, Jason's just like, fucking just awesome. I mean, I'm more partial to Jason anyway, so. Speaking of Jason.
So
real quick question though for you guys. So what do you guys think of, he's not in here a lot, but Billy D. Williams is Harvey Dent. And why is he acting like the police chief when the mayor's telling him, we gotta get this figured out? He's a fucking lawyer. He should be saying this to Gordon.
Isn't he the attorney general though?
Yeah.
For the
the district attorney.
Yeah, I know.
District attorney, sorry, not attorney general.
So, but he's the lawyer. He's like, you should the conversation that mayor's yelling at should be at Gordon at that point.
We've already established that Gordon in this is kind of useless. So
yeah, he's portrayed as a dumbass.
Billy, I liked Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent. I mean, for as little as we got him in this movie, I can't remember if you see him. I know he's in Batman Returns, if I remember correctly.
No, I don't think you see him in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from what I remember, like I said, the first 30 minutes, he's not in there at all. Like, I don't know. Let me look it up real quick. I don't want.
So that means because I know like we talked about, Burton wanted to bring him back for the third movie because he was going to introduce Two-Face in his version of the movie.
So when Schumacher got a hold of the third movie, he used some of the elements that Burton was going to use and just put his own twist on it, right?
I don't know, because I don't think Burton was going to have the Riddler in it. I think maybe Two-Face was just a decision that maybe I'll have to do research on it whenever we get to it, but I want to say it was probably a decision that the studio made.
Yeah. Well,
because
unfortunately, Billy D doesn't come back.
Okay, yeah. So if anyone out there really wants to see what Billy D. Williams in a third Tim Burton movie looks like, go check out Batman 89, the comic book, because that is, like I said, that is basically they took the elements that were discussed or talked about or whatever for Burton's proposed third Batman film and turned it into a comic. And they even designed the characters to look like the actors. So Two-Face in that / Harvey Dent is drawn to look like Billy D. Williams, and Robin is drawn to look like Marlon Wayans, and so on. So
yeah,
I don't remember who the other character was going to be though. So, but no, I don't. I think it was just like I said. I think it was probably the studio being like, "Oh, Two-Face is kind of popular with the animated series. Let's use him in this."
I'm gonna read this to you real quick, guys, because I'm pretty sure this isn't gonna it will make air, but by the time we get to doing the other Batman movie that I'm about to talk about, no one's gonna fucking remember. So Billy D. did take the role of Harvey Jones of Batman's on the possibility of portraying Two-Face in a sequel. Schumacher obviously casted Tommy Lee Jones in the role, but Al Pacino, Clint Eastwood, Martin Sheen, and Robert De Niro were considered.
Ooh,
I'm sorry. All those guys being considered against Billy D. Williams, man. Billy did not have a fucking chance. I'm gonna tell you that right fucking now.
Unfortunately.
But again, he stacked the gig. But I like the fact that I didn't know if he was anything other than Star Wars. Like, I'm not trying to be that closed-minded. That wasn't my will. I just watched Star Wars a lot.
Yeah, but again, I think if Burton would have been the one to make it, he probably would have come
Billy
back. Yeah, but it's just when Burton was gone. Yeah, I'm honestly surprised any actors ever came back. And we already talked about Alfred is the same actor, and Commissioner Gordon's the same actor.
Yeah, I looked that up, and it's the same one. They say that they're the only two actors that are in all four movies, which is cool. Yeah, that's your continuity right there. Yeah, and
it definitely is continuity between them all. With Joel Schumacher, he was going to make his third movie, which would have been the fifth movie in the continuity. A big plot point was going to be that Harley Quinn was the Joker's daughter, Jack Napier's daughter, and wanted revenge against Batman for killing her dad. So,
and that put Batman in a fucking hole for 8 years till we got Batman Begins.
Yep.
Botch.
Yeah, well,
it's fucking insane. But yeah, I feel bad for Billy.
There were a lot of. Yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is. That's 30 years ago at this point. So
yeah, and what really sucks, like later on, obviously, before this, he was in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And when we got to the sequel trilogy back in 2015, my first question was, well, when's Lando coming back? When the first movie was announced, and he wasn't in there. Then they kill off Harrison Ford. In real life, he's dead. Then they kill off Mark Hamill, but unfortunately, Carrie Fisher died in real life. And then you finally get Billy D. Williams back in Rise of Skywalker. He's one of the few bright points of that movie. Mm-hmm. And they have him in that movie because I believe Donald Glover was so good as Lando Calrissian in the Solo movie, even though the Solo movie wasn't a big hit. I'm like, man, everybody was wanting Lando Calrissian to come back. So it just it feels like he's got passed over a bit in his career. Not just Star Wars, but here too, obviously.
I remember that being Donald Glover's Lando being popular because I thought they were talking about another movie just about him or a series or something at the time.
I think they're still talking about it. I don't know what the fuck's going on. They don't know.
They're gonna wait till Donald Glover's fucking 50 years
Billy
old.
D. Williams
and
age.
Then do something.
All right, you can finally play Billy D. Williams. That's what we've been waiting
for.
You know what's crazy though, Cody? I'll tell you this, man. They just had a showing in Los Angeles of the unaltered original Star Wars movie at a theater.
Yeah, I read about that.
And Kathleen Kennedy was there. It was kind of just to let everybody know it wasn't a legal showing or some stupid shit like that. But I'm like, maybe there's some hope that eventually that shit gets released. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean,
just upscale it, make it look a little decent. Don't change any of the scenes and give us the original versions back. I'm very grateful I found the DVD set that had the original versions. Like I said, I understand why Lucas wanted to change some stuff because I grew up with the changes. But if that was my childhood and then Lucas changed it 20 years later, I've been fucking more pissed than I am now about Star Wars.
I don't see why they're so hesitant to release the original versions. Just release them all on one Blu-ray thing, and just for preservation's sake. George
didn't want to fucking do it.
Isn't that I know it's been hypothesized that it's in the contract for when he signed over or whatever the fuck.
Oh, 100%. He would be that much of a control freak. I mean, also, Kathleen Kennedy was a part of Lucasfilm. So when he sold to Disney, he wanted her to be the CEO of Lucasfilm. Like, he wanted her to be the one to be in charge. So she was going to follow his orders because he has a history going back. Like, she started her career with Spielberg, and obviously Spielberg and Lucas are best friends. So it's like a whole thing. She's been with Lucasfilm for a long time. But no, so I'm trying. There's one other scene, like I said, that whole Batman, the reveal that he's Batman, and he's not even shocked when she's there. Like that scene is so fucking odd. And the scene that is burned in my brain from this movie when I was a kid, was when Vicky Vale is like kissing on the Joker's jacket, and then it goes down like she's about to give him a blowjob.
Oh
and
man,
as a kid, I was like, oh what, you know.
Speaking of that, I'm glad you brought it up because I forgot about it. But there's something about the kissing sounds that it was just making me cringe. Like when the Joker's like kissing on her and then she starts kissing on him. It's just like this is making me very uncomfortable. I do not like this. I don't like the sound.
I was over here thinking, Vicky Vale, you lucky woman.
You think the Joker just shoots out a flag that says "bang" on it?
No, he shoots out his dick with a thing that says "bang" on it. Bang.
That's what I mean.
Oh, I thought his gun on that. It's like one of those weird. He has like probably one of those weird strap-ons that shoots out like lotion that makes it look like cum in the fucking videos now.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, but, other than that, like this, I think this movie is a good movie.
One more thing.
Oh, okay.
What do y'all think of the Batmobile in this movie?
I love it.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. Isn't this this rendition of the Batmobile the one that's like in popular?
Yes, this is the one that's in the fucking animated series that they made so many toys of. I had one as a kid.
Yeah, like almost every one is derived from this one, right?
Yeah, I have built I think I was maybe 5 or 6 years old. My mom had a Batman themed Christmas for me, so I had the Bat Mansion. You opened up and you had like rooms. It's kind of like one of those things like you just open up and the rooms are kind of like an inch deep. And you could put an
it's like Barbie's dream house, but Batman.
Exactly. And I had like 2 Batmans. I had Two-Face. I had the Joker. And I want to say I had somebody else. And then I had that fucking Batmobile. And obviously it's the Batmobile
supermarket.
From the cartoon. Do what?
You said there's someone else there, and I said, yeah, it's just Paul from the supermarket.
I mean, it probably was. I feel bad. I don't remember his name.
He's allowed to watch from the corner.
He's like, I'm like, this is kind of a useless action figure, whatever. So it's like when I had my little Lex Luger action figure when I was a kid, I'm like, this guy looks like the Ultimate Warrior without face paint. It's kind of boring. Anywho, yeah, so I had that, and the Batmobile was based off the cartoon, which is obviously based off this with the light. This one has this bat suit and this Batmobile are like completely black, whereas in the cartoon it's black with a little gray accent. And then that's how the Batmobile is. But yeah, I love this fucking Batmobile. I think it looks dope. I think it's funny seeing the special effects of it get armored up and nobody can fuck with it.
Yeah, it looks kind of rough nowadays, but
yeah. But here's another thing that's funny about it. Like the scene where he goes, all right, he gets it to unarmor and come towards him to come pick them up. There's police chasing the car at that point, but when it comes to pick them up, the police are no longer chasing her. It's literally on the same fucking street. So there's a little inconsistency there I noticed when I was watching this movie.
Yeah, they'll Owen, you were asking if this was like what the Batmobiles are derived from or whatever. I mean, through the 90s, because the animated series is basically the same thing, and then they make variations of it throughout these 4 films.
The 60s show had a Batmobile.
Yeah, I know.
The 60s show had a Batmobile, but it was a car.
Yeah, it's like a fucking 60s, like those fucking. It's like a caddy or some shit from the 60s. Like it looks real weird.
Yeah, and then obviously with Batman Begins, it's completely changed because you have
it's a fucking
what was it called, the Tumbler?
Yeah. I remember he's like, so what do you think, Mr. Wayne? He goes, does it come in black? And Martin and what what's his name?
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman's like, I am black. Like, oh.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry,
Lucius.
Be like, when I like you, say I'm sorry. Anyway,
But
so real
yeah.
quick, for closing
Yeah,
thoughts.
go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me. No, I think this is a good movie. If it was on TV, I would watch it. I don't necessarily know if I'd ever pick it out again to rewatch it, just because I've seen it and there's not a lot that happens in the movie. If this is your childhood, this is what you grew up with, I 100% respect it. I thank you for keeping the Batman fandom alive and buying tickets for this thing, so we could get eventually where we're at with like the Dark Knight Rises, some of the greatest shit on the fucking planet. But if I ever hear anybody complain about the first Venom movie and its pacing, all you gotta do is look at this movie, because the pacing of this movie is really fucking weird, and it does drag in some areas. I know Cody says like he wasn't a fan of Jack Nicholson at all in this movie, just his performance as the Joker. Not necessarily Jack Nicholson as the actor, but his parts were like the best parts of the movie for me. The Bruce Wayne parts were kind of boring and they kind of dragged. The Batman parts were too few and far between. And I just think it's funny, like, Cody, I don't know how you're going to release these episodes, but Friday the 13th Part 8, I think either came out the month after or the month before this movie came out. So it's an interesting little thing, like, oh, it'd be funny if this was the next episode after Friday the 13th Part 8.
Yeah, by the time people are hearing this, Friday the 13th Part 8 episode will already be up. So
yeah, we had already covered that. So I just think that's a little interesting. And like I said, I think it's a good setting. So much of this reminds me of the cartoon series. Obviously, they took a lot of influence from this movie. But it's pretty cool. Like, I'd say it's a good movie. I'd say it's worth at least one watch. If you're a Batman fan, you'll fucking love it. So.
All right, Owen.
Yeah, I think it's overall a pretty good movie. I mean, it's interesting. The focus on. I already said that I like Jack Nicholson as the Joker. I don't think he's like the definitive version of the Joker or anything, or that he necessarily captures like any kind of like distilled essence of the Joker or anything like that. But he's fun to watch. It's just fun to see Jack Nicholson, be crazy. The set design is great. I love like gothic what's the fucking word? Art Deco Gotham City. I love that shit. So
Dan, that's a very good callback to that word, because I just read about that word today. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's with all the big statues and shit, that's all Art Deco. With the big
also reminds me of the Gargoyles cartoon. Almost.
Yeah. Dude.
Gargoyles.
Oh my god. I wish they'd make it like a live action Gargoyles movie, but they never will.
It's been forever.
I love that show when I was a
kid. Yeah, I like that show too. I was kind of a little too young to understand what was going on though.
I remember one of my sorry to interrupt you, but one of my earliest Halloween costumes in my life was Goliath from Gargoyles.
Oh, that's dope.
Wasn't there like the skinny red gargoyle or whatever the fuck?
What gargoyle?
He was like all skinny and shit, and he was like red.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Yes. I'm trying to think. Was he red or green?
Yeah. I don't know.
I know one of them is definitely red. I can't remember.
Yeah, he has like white hair. Yeah, I'm looking at him right now. He's like red and he has like white hair.
Does he have like the big jaw?
Yeah, he's got the big he's got like a big old beak kind of thing going on.
Oh yeah.
So real quick before Owen continues, because we're not going to talk about gargoyles anymore. In the Spider-Man animated series, this is a reference to this. In the Spider-Man animated series, there's a particular building that Spider-Man hangs out in. This is like the '94 series, so it's in between the time of the Batman show starting. And there's a gargoyle he's always talking to, like kind of like a sounding board for himself. He's just talking to himself, and he calls it Bruce. Obviously, a reference to Batman, which I think is funny. So
that's cool.
All right, go ahead and finish. No, that's X-Men.
That's
God
X-Men.
damn it, man.
So yeah, I liked this movie. I would definitely give it a watch. I'm excited to see part 2. because I hear it's better.
Have you ever seen the other 3 movies in this continuity?
No, I haven't even watched. I've never watched this one before. I haven't seen any of these movies.
Oh, dope!
Interesting, awesome. So that'll be fun then as we go through these because it's hard to find anybody who's actually not watched these movies.
Yeah, I'm surprised I've never gotten around to it, but.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I apologize, but one time me and Owen were still working together. I was telling him, it was like we were talking about music. I was like, man, I've been really jamming to Pearl Jam's "Alive." He goes, yeah, and he goes, how's that song go? And I go, I feel the song, the POD song, and he starts. Owen goes, I feel the song. Like, that's not it.
I can't remember what it even fucking sounds like right now.
Yeah, I just think it's hilarious. Just him going like, I feel something. That's not it. And he's like,
I'm
in
alive.
a minute, and he fucking.
It's the Chad Kroger song. If everyone can swallow their pride.
So Owen, do you recommend this movie?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll finish this off then. At the same time, I would recommend this movie. Right, like while it is my least favorite of this run of Batman movies, I still think it's worth watching. I do have my problems with it, and I do like the other movies that we're going to come to more flaws and all, especially with Batman and Robin. But yeah, I do recommend it. I think it's worth watching. So, yeah, I guess that concludes this episode. I know we talked about restructuring our release schedule type stuff, but I've decided that it probably won't work with the way we talk. So we're just going to go ahead and talk about what we're doing next. We won't worry about jumping too far ahead. We'll just talk about what our next new episode is, which is going. I'll let Lance talk about that.
So the next time, actually next week, we are going to be recording in hell next week. We are going to be recording. Oh my God! You know, it's felt like an eternity since I started this franchise to get to this fucking point. I'm going to have so much frustration just unloading. I am just so fucking excited about this. We are going to be covering Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. And it's not going to be a one-man episode. It's not going to be 2. It's not going to be our normal 3. It's going to be 4. Our most frequent guest host, Alex, from I'll Take 3. Go ahead, Owen.
3 what?
Exactly. Who's been on our Halloween Ends episode, our Mortal Kombat 2021 episode, I believe our Christmas Vacation episode, and like 1 or 2 others, is going to be on this episode because me and him hate this movie so fucking much. But it's a part of a completion thing with me. I wish I could skip it. There's not much continuity from part 8 to part 9. But I'm telling you, man, I cannot wait to read you some quotes from the Crystal Lake Memories book from Adam Marcus himself. But yeah, so we're going to be covering Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, and The Dick Worm. I mean, that's another subtitle. I'll just add it on to it. You'll understand why I call it a dick worm when we get to it. So, yeah. I got all excited, and then I got depressed when I remember the dick worm. I'm like, oh, God, this movie. Anywho, yeah, that's it for me. Cody, do you want to close out the episode, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I'll do it. So thanks, everyone. If you've listened this far, we appreciate it. Really, if you like what we do, please click the like button, subscribe if you haven't, share this on social media, or send it to your friends. Text it to your mom in the middle of the night without context.
I mean, you joke about that, but if there's an episode that we don't talk super nasty on, I'll send the episodes to my mom. I'm looking for listens at this point, you know.
Find like the episode where we covered like X and Pearl and send those.
No, I'm okay, man. I am totally okay. When we start talking about sex and shit like that, I remember we started like, no, I don't send that to my sister or my mom. So the next couple Friday the 13th episodes, definitely not. How about we say that?
So, but yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening, and until next time.
Finish him.
Off.
Sorry.